Okay, what are you saying, people, and welcome back to another live stream. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Cheer. Good morning, Major. Welcome back to the live stream. I hope you all having a good day so far. So yeah, guys, if you haven't already, check out the Telegram channel. Left a link to that in the live chat and also my description down below. Make sure you go check that out. But yeah, like I said, another live stream for you guys. Going to talk you through what's happening in the charts today. And see if we've got any opportunities coming our way. So I'm going to start with Euro USD. So for this pair, the market is still trying to go down, but we're still getting some very strong wick rejections here. Overall, the market is still bearish. We are still making lower lows, lower highs. And you can see that on the daily, the 4 hour, the hourly, we are still bearish overall on this pair. But it is showing signs that potentially might be running up a bit of steam, finding some support that we're failing to break through and might be taking a bit of a reversal. Actually, not necessarily a reversal, but maybe another swing to the upside, a bit more retracement like we have here, there, some steeper bullish candles to the upside. So that could be on the cards. I don't want to call it too early because it is a little bit aggressive, but as you can see, we do have this support in the market for Euro USD on the 4 hour. As you can see, rejected at once, very nice rejection, back at that place again, nice rejection, then again yesterday during the live stream, and again this morning as well. So we had 4 times prices try to get a closure below, and 4 times we failed. So it is showing signs that the market could be ready to take a push to the upside. Remember, I did draw in this trend line yesterday, saying if you do see a 4 hour closure above that, it might mean that we are taking that reversal or deeper retracement to the upside. And as you can see, we still haven't had a close above that trend line. So I think that's the trend line that needs to break, not necessarily the support that we're holding, but if we can break through that trend line, I think the buyers will be on for Euro USD back into this level up there, potentially even all the way up there. But yeah, Euro USD is overall bearish, but is struggling to break through that support, so we might see some short-term buying opportunities on this pair. Yeah, sure, we'll take a look at USD CAD. So yeah, USD CAD, we did see a nice move to the downside for this pair. Chia, I believe you were in that trade from a couple of days ago. So yeah, well done for that. Looks like a great move to the downside. Price was struggling to push on the lower time frames. So on the hourly time frame, you can see price was struggling to push on. I believe during the stream we were talking around when price was around that area there, coming back into to test this support. And I said if it breaks through that support, we'll probably see some nice continuation to the downside. And we really did see some nice bearish momentum there to the downside. Looks like we had some retracement overnight, and we're seeing the continuation today, well, this morning. So yeah, USD CAD, we did see that consolidation. Price was pushing up, and I did say as long as price stays below this resistance here, it does look good for shorts for USD CAD back to the downside, and potentially see a bigger move back down to from the 1.26500 area. So I still do see some more downside for USD CAD coming to this support, but I still do see some more downside for USD CAD. We had that nice double top, price came all the way down. Looks like price come to retest, well, not retest because haven't quite tested that zone, but we can classify that as a retest, to be fair. You could say that retested. So yeah, we'll come back for the retest, and now we're seeing that bearish momentum come back into the markets again. So if I go on the higher time frames like the daily, get a better scope of USD CAD. So like I was saying yesterday, we were trading at this resistance here. That price was failing to break through. We had yesterday's candle, well, not yesterday, the day before yesterday's candle, had this massive bullish candle pushing to the upside. Then we saw this wick rejection taking us all the way back down into that zone, and then we had another wick there forming down the daily. So it was looking good for shorts from a daily point of view, and the daily was already giving us signs that we were going to see a push to the downside, and that candle was going to close bearish. So I do see the market pushing to the downside, filling in this range sort of for 1.27500 back down to 1.26500. And as you can see on the daily, support, resistance, resistance. So a really key level there in the market, which we do keep gravitating to. So if we do keep up that momentum that we are seeing in the 4H, I do expect to see USD CAD have a push one more push to the downside back down to that area. So if you're not already in shorts already, I think any retracement that we do see from USD CAD, did I say Euro USD? I meant USD CAD, sorry. Yeah, so any shorts for USD CAD that do open up later today, I think will be a good opportunity for shorts for this one, back down to the 1.26, 400, 300 area. 1.26, yeah, potentially is a nice psychological number. It potentially could. I mean, if it was to come back down to around the 1.26, 400, 300 area, I could see it spiking down into 1.26. I mean, 1.26 is kind of this area here where we last kind of found resistance on the 4H before having that massive breakout to the upside. So yeah, 1.26 is on the cards. I do expect to see price come to at least this area here. So yeah, there's not much really between this level here and that level there, just a few pips. So I can see price pushing to the downside, tapping into that psychological level, then maybe having a reversal from there. Yeah, or we'll see what happens. Price might even break through, but yeah, 1.26 is on the cards. I would say look at this area here on the 1.26 300 area. Look to see what price action is doing there, and maybe take some partials off. But yeah, if price can get to this area here, there's a good chance to probably push that few pips further to that 1.26 level. So yeah, I think it could come to that 1.26 level. But yeah, like I said, if you were to retrace a little bit more to the upside again, for USD CAD, say you'll come up here again, form a double top and then come down, I think that'll be a really nice shorting opportunity if you're not already in USD CAD, and to take that back down again. But right now we're looking very bearish, so there's a good chance we'll probably just break through that support and come straight down to this area, maybe by end of today or end of tomorrow potentially. If we look at pound USD next, so pound USD, this one we did see a lot more downside for this pair. I believe during the live stream yesterday we were trading around this area here with that nice wick rejection. However, that wasn't sustained. I did say pound USD does look good for buys, but you want to see this next bearish, not bearish candle, this next 4-hour candle close bullish above the open of that candle. And if that was to happen, we might have seen a nice change in momentum to the upside. But as you can see, this candle was just very, very bearish. It actually closed quite a few pips to the downside there. So 70 Euro USD, pound USD is still bearish. You can still see pound USD is a lot more bearish than Euro USD, simply because pound currently is a lot weaker than the euro. You can see that by Euro GBP, prices flying to the upside. So giving us the information that euro is a lot stronger than pound at this moment in time. That could change, but right now it is stronger. So that's why Euro USD was seeing a lot more rejection, whereas pound USD was still looking very, very bearish here. So I did say yesterday that if pound USD was to break through this support here, there's a good chance we're going to come and test the bottom of this wick here. And as you can see, we just spiked into it yesterday with yesterday's wick. So I can see some upside coming in now for pound USD. I do suspect that we could actually wick slightly below this area to take some liquidity out, because you can see this candle here was definitely a liquidity grab all the way back over here. Nice spike to the downside, pull back up, closing bullish. I'm pretty sure that was news as well. And then we saw the massive move to the upside from that candle. So it is telling me that there's a lot of orders around this area, and we could be seeing some upside here for pound USD. So yeah, even though the market is still very, very bearish here for pound USD, I'm not really interested in selling the market unless it was to come back into this area here. Then I might look to sell the market from that kind of break and retest of that area and take that back down again potentially. So that's the only kind of scenario I would look to sell pound USD. But it's really, really bearish now. The way I trade, I look to swing my trades, and the swing has definitely already happened to the downside, so there's not much left. There's not much juice left in that trade, or pips left in that trade to the downside for me to get involved. So I'm probably waiting for this to consolidate a little bit more, give me a bit more information, and potentially turn bullish and take that higher back again to the upside. So that's kind of the setup I'm looking for on the lower time frames, the 4H, the hourly for pound USD so far. We're kind of getting a bit of consolidation, but it does look like the market is finding a little bit of support, which is good. which is good to see for pound USD. So if we can take out this resistance here, we might be seeing a lot more upside. And I think some longs might be looking good. If you can break through that, come back down, form a higher low or something like that, and then push on, maybe form a trend line like that, and then push on from there, that will be great as well. So pound USD, I'm focused on the buying opportunities, even though we are quite bearish. But like I said, I'm going to be a little bit more patient with this one because the momentum is definitely against me. Whereas USD CAD, even though we had all that bullish momentum against us there with that consolidation, price was forming some nice price action. It was also at a really key level, so we had some nice confidences there for USD CAD, hence why we had such a nice push to the downside. So yeah, pound USD, I believe we can see some upside now. I'm not saying reversal, just retracement of that bearish leg we had to the downside over the past few days. So yeah, I'll be focused to see if I can capture that move. Same thing for Euro USD though, because Euro USD is failing to break through that support there as well. So yeah, I think there'll be a nice, quite short-term trade, maybe on the 15-minute to the upside for Euro USD back into this resistance here potentially. So if I can see a break of this trend line, come back, form a higher low, retest it, form support, double bottom, whatever sign of confirmation I can see or I can get, we'll look to get involved in that and take this back into that resistance up there, just because as you can see, rejection, and again this morning rejection. So it's looking good for buys, but just not quite yet though, not quite yet. Again, if the market was bullish and we've seen that rejection, that would be a great place to look for buys. But just because we're up against the momentum a little bit, I'll be on the sidelines a little bit more. But as you can see on the hourly time frame, a really nice bullish candle there, giving us wicks to the downside. So it definitely is running out of steam, but it can still push on anyway. So have to be a bit on the sidelines first, and then when we see a clear opportunity, you can let's get involved. And like I said, if I do see a nice opportunity on your USD, I will let you guys know on the Telegram. So if you aren't involved in that yet, make sure you go check that out. Links will be in the description for that, or in the chat as well. Gold for this one, I was actually looking for buying opportunities for gold. I'm still expecting gold to continue to the upside, but right now it's finding some resistance and struggling to push on. So it might be a scenario where gold pushes to the downside, forms a higher low, and then pushes back up. Whereas I was thinking price was going to be quite strong, very impulsive. So I was looking for a higher low in like the lower time frames, and then take this on from there. But as you can see, price is a little bit bearish right now. So yeah, gold might be trying to push a little bit further to the downside first than I expected, but I'm still only looking for buying opportunities. I'm still looking to swing gold. I'm sure there'll be many short opportunities, long opportunities within the price action in this area on the lower time frames, but for me, I'm looking to capture the longer move for gold, which I still think is to the upside. If price action does start to develop a little bit more, turn bearish, maybe forming some strong lower highs, then yeah, I'll look to change my bias and short the pair. But right now, still focused on the long opportunity. So yeah, going to wait for price action to give me a much better opportunity. Right now, we're looking a little bit bearish here. We are running out of steam because you can see all those small body candles, which does give us the sign that the market is running out of steam to the downside, and we might be seeing some bullish candles coming in on the 4H. Nice area of support there as well. So yeah, we'll be looking at those buys. But if the market wants to move down a little bit more, then that's fine as well. We do have this area here, prior resistance here, will be turn support, then potentially you could go long from there or potentially there. So yeah, we'll see what gold wants to do. But like I said, guys, bias it is to the upside. We'll be looking for those buys and looking to take it back into 1860, which is kind of this area here. So I do think gold is still on the cards for some nice longs, but we're quite not there yet. AUD USD still bearish as well, still falling to the downside. We're still breaking through 0.74, very key level in the market. As you can see, we broke through that this week, and the market is looking very, very bearish. So I think price might be coming to this area here, which is a nice weekly zone, 0.2 0.72500, and then if you do come into here, I do think there will be some really nice buys, but it might be a case where the market comes up first and then comes down, and then could be some nice sells there as well. So right now AUD/USD is kind of in between two key levels. I don't really want to trade in those in between those two key levels really. I want to either wait for some selling opportunities or some buying opportunities from there. If price was to break back above, we'll treat this as a false breakout, wait for price to give me a higher low or retest that, and then we can take that a lot further to the upside. So yeah, AUD/USD, there could be a nice opportunity coming up, maybe either later in the week or next week. So yeah, AUD/USD is not on the watch list. Really gonna see what happens from this pair for the rest of the week, but yeah, not really looking to get involved in any trades with this pair. Pound CHF, for me, I think could be a good pair to trade if this is breaking to the downside, because again, we're having all this rejection here in the market. You can see all those wicks there forming, and I think we could be just creeping to the downside to start a really nice bearish trend in the market. So if price can keep up with that price action, I do think we could be involved for a really nice breakout. And like I did say yesterday, this is where I do expect to see price head to. So there's still a lot of pips to catch to the downside. I'm seeing if we can get a nice break and retest of this zone here, which I think that's what price wants to do, unless it wants to have a false break and break back in. Then I might look to change my bias after that false break. But if price does something like this, comes back in, rejects that area, and then yeah, we'll be looking to take, oh, that was very poorly drawn, to take that lower to the downside. That is even worse. Okay, that's a lot better to see it. So reject that area, break and retest, and then take that further to the downside. I can look at US30 now if you want. But yeah, my live stream finishes at 12 PM GMT, so I'll look at it there. I'll look at the US30 there again. But yeah, for this one, we are pushing to the upside. I still think for this one, we could see some nice selling opportunities for US30 after that big drop we had not too long ago. So we are coming back into around this area here. I do think that's a nice zone to look to sell the market again, unless this is just a massive fake out, so a big drop, a big spike up again to grab some liquidity. Then we see US30 start pumping again to the upside like that. Then market will probably turn bullish. We just see that trend continue. But I think after that, taking down these structural levels here, I think we'll see some downside. I'm not saying we'll probably reverse, come all the way to these lows. I think we can see maybe a retest of this zone here, potentially off that area. So yeah, US30, I think some nice selling opportunities on the lower time frames can be coming back into play. So yeah, hourly we are still looking bullish here, so I'll probably wait for price action to develop a little bit more. See some nice signs of rejection, price building up, and see some nice change in momentum as well. And I think we could be catching up some nice selling opportunities. Again, first target will probably have to be there, then around there as well. So yeah, some nice selling opportunities coming for US30, I feel like, especially in this zone, unless we start pumping to the upside, breaking through that area. But for now, yeah, if I was looking to get involved with US30, it will be selling opportunities, especially in this zone. And yeah, first target will probably be there, second target there, and if you want to look to swing the pair, you know, potentially could come all the way back down to there. But yeah, US30 is looking very, very bullish, more bullish than I expected price would be after that massive dump we had to the downside. So yeah, I wouldn't hold on for sells for too long, just in case it is a fake out and we see price start pushing to the upside again. But yeah, in my opinion, yeah, it's looking bullish here. But if it does turn bearish, see some nice rejections, then yeah, I think some nice shorts could be coming into play for US30. So I hope that analysis helped. USD CHF, take a look at that pair. Oh yeah, so okay, for USDCHF, I was in some sells yesterday, and as you can see, the pair actually exploded to the upside. So yeah, we're actually looking quite bullish for this pair. On the daily as well, taking out this resistance here as well, and as you can see, we have this nice resistance here. Price was giving us a lot of wicks into this area, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wicks. So definitely a clear area of resistance which we were struggling to break through, which is one of the reasons why I did go short yesterday. However, as you can see, yesterday's candle we actually broken through that area. So USDCHF is a little bit tricky because it does look like USD might be seeing some weakness coming in the market, but then this one is looking a little bit bullish for me. So yeah, we can see some downside for USDCHF, but yeah, I'm not overly confident on this pair really. That is a nice candle closure down the 4H, this nice wick to the upside, then closing bearish. Still hasn't really broken through that support there though. Still hasn't really broken through that support. So as you can see with the hourly candle, we have still haven't broken through that support. So I think if you can break through that support, then we'll probably see price fill the range into the downside, come back into this area, then potentially this area as well. But yeah, to be honest with you, yeah, I'm not really too confident with USDCHF going short. Yeah, after that daily closure that we had yesterday, yeah, it's not looking too good for shorts for USDCHF. USD CAD, however, is looking really good. I think that's just because CAD is really strong. CHF, not so much. But yeah, from a technical standpoint, it's not looking good for shorts because it just broke that resistance there. 4H as well, still creating higher highs, higher lows. You have a little bit of a trend line now getting involved. So yeah, let me take a look at the DXY. DXY is looking good because we've pushed to the upside past this resistance here, so we were turning bullish, but then as you can see, we're struggling to set free from that level. We came back to retest that area, push back again, now we're coming back to retest it again. So if the market can break to the downside, that could give USDCHF the kick it needs to turn bearish again and come lower. But if you do hold that support and price starts to push on and turn bullish again for the DXY, then yeah, I think USDCHF will probably just continue to the upside after that. But for me, if I was going to say USDCHF was to come down, I want to see the DXY start coming down first, and then I'll be a lot more confident. But yeah, USDCHF, after it broke that resistance on the daily, still a little bit unsure about that pair, but I can see more upside happening, really, to be fair, because of the daily chart. But yeah, overall still a little bit choppy. So yeah, I'm just going to leave that one aside because I can't really call this pair at this moment in time. It looked very clear when I was selling it here. Now after had that massive push to the upside, and the market's struggling to break through now. So yeah, it's just a bit tricky. So maybe if we can have a breakout of that kind of consolidation, then we could have a clearer idea where USDCHF can go. If it does break the resistance up there, then yeah, we'll probably see some more upside, or break that support, then yeah, we might see some more downside. But for now, yeah, I wouldn't really call it yet. Maybe after today's candle closure will give us a better idea as well, because on the daily chart, if we do see this current bullish candle here close back down again bearish, back below, if I just clear everything, back below this resistance here. So if this candle was to come close bearish back below, then basically we just had a nice false breakout, and then yes, sales would look really good to the downside there for USDCHF. But if it stays above this resistance, comes back retested or something like that, then I think price is probably going to come up to that resistance up there. So yeah, I wouldn't sell USDCHF just simply because it's not that clear for me. I mean, you haven't missed much. If there's any pairs you're looking at, or if you're in any trades, or yeah, if there are any pairs that you got in your watch list, feel free to share, drop it down in the chat. We'll take a look at them, look at that pair, see what's going on. But yeah, you haven't missed much. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the DXY for this one. It still looks a little bit bullish here. it does look like we're running out a bit of steam because we're finding some resistance there in the market. So yesterday on the DXY we were trading around this area here. We've had a nice push to the upside, got above that area holding a support, and as you can see, this bullish candle here confirmed that support, push to the upside, now coming back into that same area. So see, the price is just retesting that support again to move higher, or is struggling to push on and it's going to close back below. And if that happens, then the DXY might see some weakness, which will probably help USD CAD come down, USD CHF come down, pound USD going up, Euro USD going up, and so on and so on. But yeah, DXY for me, still overall bullish pair. You can see that clearly. Price is still making higher highs and higher lows there. Yes, we need to see some structural levels getting taken out before we can be a bit more confident with the bearish side of things. USD CAD is working really well. I think just because CAD is quite strong right now, and if you go through a lot of the CAD pairs like NZD CAD, nice move to the downside. Pound CAD, nice move to the downside. AD CAD, nice move to the downside. So yeah, CAD is really strong. So that's probably why USD CAD is moving the best out of other pairs. Whereas like USD CHF, that's actually moving up. USD JPY is moving up as well. So a little bit tricky, but yeah, DXY overall still bullish. It needs to take out some levels for me to be a little bit more confident with the bearish side of things. So we could easily respect this area where we're trading at right now and just continue to the upside very easily. So if we can take out that support, then I think we might have some more downside on our hands, back down to this area here at least, and then maybe even further if we can get past that as well. NZD USD for this one, still looking a little bit bearish as well. This one not as bearish as the other pairs. You can see like AU pound USD were falling quite rapidly over the past few days, whereas this one we're kind of stalling a little bit. We're moving to the downside overall, as you can see, push, pullback, push, pullback, push, pullback. However, we've had fairly steep pullbacks with this one, as you can see. Really big pullback there, big pullback, another big pullback as well. So I think for NZD USD, we could be in that pullback mode and see another push to the upside. Might turn bearish again, might reverse. We'll find out when the market does that, but I think we could be coming into pullback mode for this one. We do have some support now, turn resistance just above where price is. So obviously this is the support that price was respecting. Nice rejection there as well, rejection there as well, and now this is time resistance. So if we can break above that area, then yeah, we might be seeing some more upside, but so far we're kind of just trading alongside it. So we'll see what the market does there. As of right now, I'm not really seeing any clear opportunities with NZD USD. So again, another pair not on my watch list, but if something does happen, I will let you guys know about it on the Telegram channel. So like always, make sure you go check that out. Euro JPY, another pair pushing to the upside as well. This one we've seen some massive downside movement here recently, actually breaking through a key level 129,600 really. As you can see, support, held this massive move to the upside, respected it quite nicely before, and now we've actually broken through that area. So price is now coming up into that same area as resistance. So if price does respect that, I can see some more downside for Euro JPY, probably back down to this wick down there. However, if we can break above this area, then we might be seeing some more upside for Euro JPY, but at this moment in time we're holding underneath that area. So if I go on the lower time frame, you can see hourly, a lot of bullish momentum there in the market. So yeah, the market is still very bullish. I would not short that with that price action we're getting there. Some nice wicks there, false breakouts on the lower time frames with that support, and then a massive move to the upside. So yeah, Euro JPY is still very bullish. If it was to move to the downside, it's probably from this area here, and if it does turn bearish, I do think some nice short-term shorts will be forming. and take that lower, probably all the way back down to that wick there, around the 128,600 mark. Nice, well done, well done. I mean, yeah, if you've hit your weekly target already, you know, wait for the best setup. There's no need to risk your money now once you've hit your target. Really, many times where I would start the week off really well, and then by the end of the week, you know, end the week on break even, or you know, slightly in profit just because I got too excited too early. And you know, you forget the reason why you're actually trading it is, you know, to have that freedom um, to make profit, and not have to, you know, really do too much apart from, you know, stay disciplined, stay consistent, and keep up with your analysts in the market. So when you do start the week off well, and like I said, if you already hit your weekly target, yeah, there's no really need to get back into the market on a half-assed opportunity. If there is an opportunity, there's an opportunity. But if you can see a really good opportunity that you just can't miss out on, then yeah, maybe even go reduce your risk as well, so you don't go too much into your weekly into your profits for the week as well. But yeah, Euro USD up. Okay, so yeah, so for this one, price overall is still very bearish here for Euro USD. However, we are rejecting that support in the market. I think that's around 1.17700, and as you can see, nice area of support there, nice move up again, nice support, nice move up, support, and as you can see, we're getting these wick rejections there as well. So the market is definitely running out of steam. The market is bearish, so I wouldn't long this immediately just because we're seeing that rejection. You know, many times we can see that rejection, the market will still break to the downside and still continue in its bearish path or bullish path, vice versa. But yeah, so for this one, the market is bearish. I would like to see a break of that trend line. I've drawn this trend line in on the 4H, just connecting all these wicks here with the bodies. And as you can see, we're still struggling to get a closure above that trend line. I think yesterday we were trading around this area here. I said if we can see price push up, get a nice closure above that trend line, which at one point it was looking very bullish. So it was looking like we might get a candle closure above that trend line. However, by the time that candle closed, you can see we pull back and close bearish, and hence we did see some more downside for Euro USD. So for this pair, same thing again goes for today. If we can see this candle, current bearish candle here, got about 3 hours left of this candle. If it can flip bullish, close above our trend line, we could scale down to the low time frames, hourly, 30-minute, 50-minute, whatever time frame you look to trade, and take advantage of a nice push to the upside. And I think we can see a nice push back into this area here. Maybe if we do find a lot more strength, back into that area over there, around 1.18500. But I think this area does look like a good area to target, good probability as well. So yeah, Euro USD still bearish. You can see on the hourly time frames, but we did have quite a nice push there. So if you can come up, break through that trend line, form nice higher low, maybe something like a head and shoulders pattern. So left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then see some upside back into that area there. So yeah, it does look good for some buys for Euro USD. But yeah, I'm on the sidelines for now. But I do have my eye on this pair for later today if I can see a nice closure above. Okay, that's good then. Yeah, I mean, likewise. I appreciate the kind words as well. Happy to help, happy to do the live stream as well. I'm glad you're enjoying the live stream. Pound cow, we did see some nice movements to the downside for this pair yesterday. I was looking at this pair saying we could be involved in some really nice shorts. I didn't really get any opportunities to get involved in this pair. We had this really nice bearish candle closing down the hourly, and after that bit of retracement on the lower time frames, and then just continue to the downside. So I didn't get involved in this one, didn't really see that good of an opportunity, but from a daily point of view, it was looking very, very good. You can see we have this key level in the market, 1.74. If I take that across, you can see resistance there, resistance, a lot of wicks to the upside from this area. A really nice false breakout that we had not too long ago, giving us this massive dump to the downside. And then same thing here as well, a nice false breakout. Instead, this time it's not candle closure, it's just a really, really long wick. And then we pulled all the way back down. And then, yeah, it was looking good for shorts from that area after that false break. You know, all that massive wick would have taken a lot of people's stop losses out. And then gave us the liquidity to move to the downside. So missed that opportunity there, but there'll be a lot more around the corner, so no worries about that. I think right now I wouldn't be looking to get involved in buying that after that move there. So very, very bearish candle closure after that wick there. So I think on the lower time frames, if you were to see some retracement to the upside for pound CAD, I think we could be seeing some nice short-term sells to the downside again, back down to around the 1.72 area. We do have some prior support around here, will be time resistance, so that might be a nice area to sell from. Or if we were to retrace back into that area up there, again, that would be a nice area to sell from. I don't think price would retrace that far up after the momentum we're seeing on the daily, so I think this is more of a logical place to expect price to come to and bounce at. So yeah, that's what I'll be looking to focus from there to take that to the downside, back into that 1.72 support there. So yeah, pound CAD looking very, very nice. Overall, daily is looking bearish here, and I think we can see a lot more downside for pound CAD back into the 1.72 area, maybe even further. Hey William, how are you doing? Happy to have you back on the stream. Hope you're having a good morning and welcome back. Yeah, so pound JPY, this pair is looking a little bit bullish now. Like I did say yesterday, guys, that we're coming back into a very key level for pound JPY. You can see this is kind of like technically our last higher low in the market. If you can follow, it's a nice push, pullback, push, pullback, push, and I pull back into the same area. So I'm not saying the market's going to turn bullish again, but it's an area where you do expect to see some type of reaction from. And I think after yesterday's candle there, nice doji representing indecision, so you can see all of that bearish momentum, you know, kind of depleted. And if you go in the 4H, you can see we're getting some nice head and shoulders here as well. Price respected that support, false breakout, retest, and it looks like we're getting the continuation. So I can see pound JPY pushing to the upside back into this area here, and then maybe even further as well. But yeah, pound JPY back up to 150, 750, something like that around here does look good. So maybe some short-term buys down the breakout on the lower time frame do look good there for pound JPY. Oh, okay. Good luck in your exams, William. Hope you smash them. What exams are they for? Is it those? Are you doing a course? I mean, no worries, no worries. I mean, William, I'm not holding any grudges there. I'm not holding any grudges. We did miss you, though. We did miss you. CHF JPY. We'll take a look at CHF JPY. Okay, yeah, CHF JPY for this pair. Overall, another pair that is still bearish. Price is giving us some nice pullbacks down the daily time frame. I still do think we can see a bit more downside for this pair. I was looking at this area kind of around here. We've tapped into it already, but I think we can still come a little bit deeper and then move further to the upside after that momentum there we saw on the daily. So we've come back into an area of supply there. As you can see, nice supply, nice dump to the downside, and we're testing that area. So I think for CHF JPY, we might be seeing a little bit more downside for this pair, but then again, this price action here is quite bullish there. It looks like we're having a slightly, like a little bit of a head and shoulders there, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then maybe you might, see a bit more upside. But for me, I'll probably be on the sidelines for CHF JPY because even though we're coming into a nice area of support, the market for me is still a little bit too bearish here. And if I was buying, I'll probably look to get involved a little bit sooner. So yeah, I think CHF JPY maybe another leg to the downside and then some upside, or if you can reject it. But yeah, it's looking bearish here, so I'm expecting some downside for CHF JPY. Yeah, I mean, you can look to buy, but I'll probably wait for the market to see what it wants to do first, because it's coming back into that same area of resistance and it is showing some signs of rejection. I know that hourly candle doesn't have too much significance, but especially with this price action here looking to the left, yeah, it's not really convincing for me. Maybe for it to come back down again, reject this area and then come up, I think that will be a much more solid buy, because we do have this support here as well. So kind of that support, if prices to come, hold at that, and then see some more continuation to the upside, give you a nice higher low, which kind of already has, to be fair, kind of already has. But yeah, it's a tricky one for me because I wouldn't buy into that resistance, but then it does look good to buy from this one here, just because we potentially have that head and shoulders pattern as well. So like an extra, layer of confluence there. But yeah, I think it's just a little bit aggressive for me. So yeah, I can see some upside for CHF JPY after pushing it into that key level, making those lows. We could see another push like that. Price might come down again or go further. But yeah, I'll be a little bit careful with CHF JPY in my opinion. But like I said, that is a nice area to look to buy from. So if you do reject it, there could be some nice good buys there. I mean, Chia, where would you be looking to target for CHF JPY if you are getting into some buys? Would it be this resistance around here or higher further? Because from a daily point of view, it looks like the market's had kind of like a break and retest situation, breaking through this resistance here, coming back, maybe retesting that to continue. So if that's the case, you can expect price to push past this area and we can see some more upside. So from a daily point of view, yeah, I can see the longs making sense there. Again, we're not asking the market to push all the way back into that resistance there, but give us, some type of bullish momentum. And 120, okay, so that's around there-ish. Okay, so yeah, it does make sense. It does make sense because the way price is moving, it's fluctuating quite nicely. So if it was to have that pullback, probably would come around there, maybe form a lower high, come down again, or break through some type of trend line there, and then go up. I don't know why I just didn't use the trend line tool, to be honest. And then go further. So yeah, So you're looking to capture that swing. It does make sense because the market has had obviously that dump to the downside, come into a very key level on the daily, form those new lows, past those wicks, so the upside is there. But in my opinion, I'll probably just wait for a little bit more development there, a bit more wicks, a bit more rejection to get involved, and then take it higher. I do agree that that move to the upside could happen, but I just don't like the price action here of it happening. Yeah, so if he was to do, fail to break through it again, that could build me with a little bit more confidence to say, yeah, those longs do look good, but yeah, it's just not for me right now. I mean, you could be absolutely correct there, and price could just shoot to the upside, hit your TP. But yeah, looking at that price action is not filling me with too much confidence there. So I'll probably let it slide, probably sit on the sideline, see what it wants to do. But yeah, if you do see a clear opportunity and it hits your plan, your guidelines, your rules, then yeah, fully go for it. Because from a kind of wave analysis point of view, we do expect to see another wave back to the upside again after this nice dump, especially after creating some new lows and coming into that daily area. But yeah, I just don't like the way the market is moving there. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I would not be able to tell you euro weakness or euro strength. To be fair, I don't really look too much into that. I mean, I kind of just stay off price action. So from a price action point of view, I'm expecting to see some euro strength. So if the fundamentals go with technicals, then I expect to see some euro strength. But yeah, I really don't look too much into that. Gives me too much stress really, so I kind of just look away because I don't really predict strength or weakness, and the opposite happens, and then yeah, it's just not what I want to see really. So yeah, I can't really help you with that, but from a technical point of view, I'm expecting some strength, and normally fundamentals do correlate really well with technicals. Especially if you can get on the right side of the market. So yeah, I'll probably say strength just from a technical point of view, but yeah, I would not be able to help you with that at all. Yeah, no problem here at all, no problem. I think we are seeing some weakness in the yen right now though, because it does look like some JPY pairs have seen some nice pushes to the upside, or is pushing to the upside. So you can see CAD JPY, really nice push there. CHF JPY, nice push there as well. Euro JPY trying to push to the upside, but like we just said, we're kind of trading in a very key level, 129,500, actually no, 129,600, very key level of resistance. So we've already seen that push. NZJPY was seeing that push. AJPY haven't really seen that quite yet. UCJPY, very big push to the upside. So it does look like we're seeing that weakness in the yen. So if that is to continue, we might be seeing a lot more upside as well, especially when they happen at the same time. It normally does mean that the pairs are starting to sync, and we could be seeing all the pairs move together, either up or down. Yeah, sure thing, we'll take a look now. Okay, so okay, so yeah, massive dump to the downside recently. Haven't looked at this pair in a while, but big dump to the downside. We're broken through this support here on the daily, and now we're pushing back into that area. So I'm thinking if price does obey price action here, because it does look like overall we are still bullish here, despite even having that dump to the downside. This is looking from a daily point of view. I will go onto the lower time frames in a second, but from a daily point of view, that is our previous higher low here, push the upside. This potentially could just be another higher low, and then we could see more upside from there. But I think if you look at the immediate price action after that massive dump to the downside, coming back into this area now as resistance, if you can find some resistance there, I would say there are some nice shorting opportunities for this pair coming up. However, I would be a little bit more patient with this one, because the price action right now is looking very, very bullish right now. So you can see overall massive dump to the downside, but we are finding a lot of bullish momentum to the upside there, a little bit more than my liking. But if we can find resistance around this area here, I do see some nice selling opportunities. I wouldn't hold on for shorts for too long, just because I know on the higher time frames we could be going against the grain a little bit. But I do think some nice short-term sells, maybe on the hourly, 50-minute potentially, back down into this area around here. And then if you can get a break of that, back down into this area here. But like I said, I wouldn't hold on them for too long, so make sure you take your partials and stuff. But yeah, we are coming into a key area of resistance, simply just breaking through that support on the daily and now coming back into retest it. So yeah, if the market can keep this up, I think we can see some nice rejection from there. If we do break past that area and see a daily close above that area, then that probably means that we just had a false breakout, and then this potentially is just now a higher low, which is kind of a good thing, because if we can recognize that early on, it means that any buying opportunities we can take advantage of and just see price come all the way back up to this resistance all the way up there and really take advantage of those buys. But yeah, I think this is kind of the critical level to see what happens with price if we break back above or if we reject it. See what price wants to do there. We've still got a little bit more upside left before we kind of hit that zone. So I want to see price, push to the upside a little bit more, and we probably will push to the upside a little bit more, because as you can see, that bullish candle there that just closed, that is a lot of momentum to the upside from the bulls. So you probably will see this candle here flip bullish, push into this area, see what price wants to do here on the lower time frames, hourly, maybe 15-30 minute, and then you could be looking for some sells back down to this area or this area. But yeah, if price does keep this momentum up and we see another big bullish candle closing above here, and then we see a daily candle closing above, then it might be a thing where we wait for some retracement and we look to take some buys to take this up. Because then basically what we've had is just a massive false breakout. So yeah, I would say just see what happens around this mark here, this price around the 15,400 mark, and then either some nice selling opportunities, or if you can break above, some nice buying opportunities. But if you were looking for buying opportunities, I'll probably wait for the daily candle to close above this area, not 4 hour or hourly. Wait for the daily candle to close above, and that will mean yeah, we've had that false breakout, then we can see those longs. But if you don't see that daily candle closing above, then sells all the way to the downside. No, I don't actually trade NAS 100. I mainly just trade Forex pairs. I do sometimes trade gold as well, but yeah, mainly just Forex pairs. So that is where yeah, most of my analysis is at. But to be fair, I can look at the NAS 100 for you. Yeah, no worries. Happy to help there, Raj. Happy to help. So yeah, for this pair, we've seen a nice dump to the downside there. creating some new lows, breaking past some key structural points. So the market is looking quite bearish here. We've pushed to the upside with that bullish candle there on the daily, so pushing to the upside. If I go into the 4H, you can see we have broken some structures there. So this pair, even though we've had a nice dump to the downside, is not looking that that bearish anymore. Daily, yes. 4 hour, no. So from a daily point of view, price might want to push up a little bit more back into this kind of area there, and then maybe take a dump to the downside. So for this one, yes, I'm probably waiting for selling opportunities, but it would be nice to see this one push slightly higher. It might not, because we're already finding all these wicks to the upside, so it's really showing that rejection, so we could actually fall to the downside from where price is right now. But to line up the daily a little bit better, yeah, back up to 14,800, and then some shorts from there to the downside. And like the pair I just analysed, and US30 as well, I wouldn't hold on for shorts for too long, because these markets can easily turn bullish very quickly, and we do see a lot of fake movements to the downside to shake people out, and then we continue and create some higher highs. So yeah, some short-term sales do look good. Again, this is the 4H time frame, so if you want to scale down hourly, 50-minute, 30-minute, take a really advantage of those shorts, increase your risk towards, then yeah, there's some nice selling opportunities back down to this area here, and then if you can break through that back into this area here. So yeah, right now it does look like we are forming a little bit of bearish price action here. We've seen a nice dump to the downside, and now respecting this resistance here again. So I would like to see price come to that area just above us over there, but with this price action here, it doesn't look like that will happen unless we suddenly just turn bullish again and break through that area. But I think as price holds into this area here, so we don't see a break past this area here, I think some shorts do look good back into this zone. If you just, let me just zoom out a little bit. Yeah, so back into that zone, and if you can break through that zone there as well, I probably just expect price to fill the range and see another move back into this zone here as well. So yeah, I would say more downside for this pair. Right now it's looking really good, it's looking bearish here. I would like to see price at this level here, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So we found some nice resistance around here. Also, you can see we did have a push into a nice area of supply. You can see a bullish candle there, nice wick to the upside, and a nice dump to the downside. So a really nice textbook area of supply, and this is the kind of our first time in that area as well. So yeah, it does look good for some short-term sells, and like I said, aim for this area or this area down there. Actually, to be fair, do take into mind this area here as well, because we could actually come into that support and then go higher, hit that zone, and then come down. So do take note of that support, maybe take partials or stop loss to break even or something like that. But yeah, sales do look good back down to this level here than that level. I wouldn't hold on shorts back down to these lows, just because the market potentially could turn bullish again. So yeah, I'll target either of those areas. So yeah, if I was you, look to sell the pair, but like I said, I don't really trade indices, mainly just trade Forex and gold as well. But yeah, if I was looking to get involved, I would look to short that back down to one of those two levels. So I hope that analysis has helped. Pound AUD has still been pushing to the upside for quite some time now. For this one, I have been waiting for a really nice selling opportunity, because I still can see for this one, even though yes we are pushing to the upside, I can still see a nice sell-off, a nice dump to the downside, because we do also have this channel here. If I connect those lows, and also if I connect these highs, if I connect those lows, connect those highs, you can see the market is, you know, fluctuating between these two key levels of resistance and support. So obviously this trend line here is acting as resistance, the bottom trend line is acting as support. I think we can see the market sell off back down to come test this trend line here as well. Sooner or later, I'm not saying now, but sooner or later we can. So that's the opportunity I am looking to get involved in. As of right now, we're still looking bullish here, so still not looking good for those sales, but I think it can happen either later this week or maybe next week, depending when we get that opportunity. But like always, guys, if I do get the opportunity, I will stick it on the Telegram channel. I'll let you guys know of that opportunity. So if you haven't checked out the Telegram, make sure you go and do that. Yeah, no problem, Jason. Happy to help there. Happy to help, bro. Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree there, William. 100% agree. I was looking at the COVID cases graph a few months ago, like noticing, price, giving higher highs, higher lows, moving to the upside, and then sometimes when it came back down again, broke through the previous low, we'd see a short-term downtrend before price might push back up again. So, yeah, technical analysis is quite cool that it works kind of like everywhere. And it's a very important and great skill to have, because like no one can take that away from you. Like whatever financial market you're looking at, technical analysis does work. And there's some financial markets it will work a little bit better than others, but if you can manage your risk, you can pretty much trade any financial market and make a profit from it. GJ's correlator, I had no idea about that, to be fair. I mean, I don't really look at indices, so I wouldn't know, but yeah, I had no idea. Learn something new every day there. And if anyone else is looking at any pairs as well, like always, feel free to drop a comment down below of the pair that you're looking at to trade, or you've got your eye on, or you're not too sure about. Yeah, drop it down in the chat, and I will give you some analysis on that pair. Take a look at it together, see what that pair is saying. No, no one has access to the members of the Telegram. Even I don't as well. Well, I can see the name, but I can't see like details. I mean, you could always create like an account, change your name or whatever, and then join it like that, because you don't need to put your actual details to have the Telegram account. But yeah, it's up to you. If you don't want to risk it, that's completely up to you. But yeah, like I said, pound AUD looks good for some short-term sells, but it's just not quite there yet. Yeah, it's just not quite there yet. So I think for this one, pound AUD, I'll wait for a little bit more development for this one, because it looks like a bit of a range, a little bit messy. It's not looking the best. So maybe a break and retest of the low might be the best opportunity, but even that doesn't look too good, because if we do take a break and retest of that low there, you're coming straight back into this area here, straight into some noise where price could just easily reverse on you, turn bullish again. So even though pound AD is looking good for those sells, it's just the price action isn't just quite there for me yet. So going to be sitting on the sidelines and wait for a better opportunity to come for this one. But yeah, if I do get a nice opportunity later in the week, we'll let you guys know. Okay, yeah, that's fine then. You don't have to join it then. If you can view it without joining, that's fine then. pound NZD, which is similar to pound AUD. For this one as well, I can see some nice selling opportunities. A little bit messy, not as messy as pound AUD, but I think we can be on for some nice sells back to the downside. 4 hour, yeah, doesn't look too good. Won't lie there. We are trading on that support there. But with that price action, especially with the price action we're getting here, that push, pullback, nice wick to the upside, spiking through that, closing bearish, it does look like we can sell off to the downside. Whether the trade is worthwhile, I'm not too sure, because there is a lot of noise. So obviously price is pulled into that area, we might be seeing a nice dump to the downside there. Which if pound NZD is going to do that dump to the downside, there's a good chance pound AUD is going to do that dump as well. But yeah, it's not looking too good for pound AUD, so might focus on this pair a little bit more. And yeah, I can see a push to go and fill this wick to the downside back down here, all the way to these lows here. So I think if pound NZD does give us a nice opportunity, I think some nice shorts to the downside back down to the 1.9500 area does look good for this pair. We do need to see some strength in the New Zealand dollar as well, which looks like it could happen, but I think we do need to break some barriers to see that. We do need to break through some barriers to see that. We're seeing some strength coming to the markets this morning. Failing to break through that support there, pushed to the upside, failed to break through that. Well, we have broken through that, but pushing back up again on the NZD-APY. NZD-USD, we did break through that support as well, but we're pushing back into it. If we can get our necks above that, then it might help pound NZD up to the downside. But yeah, I think as long as we don't take out that resistance there, I think pound NZD should be selling off to the downside, and then 1.9500. Do have a little bit of support there that might cause price to struggle, but if you can break through that, then yeah, I can see a lot more downside for this pair. And like I said, pound NZD very, very similar with pound AUD, so we might be seeing that drop there happen, and then maybe coming back into this. I'll just use the rectangle back into this area here, very strong area of demand. We could easily tap into this area here, maybe even turn bullish again or something like that. But yeah, I think we could be seeing that dump happen there. And look, we are forming lower highs as well, so potentially could see that dump to the downside. But like I said, in the 4 hours, not the clearest pair, so yeah, I'm not too convinced with it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did see that happen. So yeah guys, currently not in any pairs right now. Was in USD CHF short yesterday. Took a loss on that one there. Yeah, still a little bit unclear with USD CHF again coming into today. I did say there could be some nice buying opportunities if we do break to the upside. We have broke to the upside, but I'm still not convinced yet that we are going up. You can see there we've had a really nice big push to the upside with pullback and actually closed bearish there. So yeah, I'm not convinced there with USD CHF. Going to be on the sidelines a little bit more with this pair to see how it develops. Maybe wait for the daily candles to close, give me a better picture. But yeah, not in any trades at the moment, but I do have my eye on a few pairs. Pound CHF shorts, because we've broken through that support there. I think if we do come back in, retest that, we could be coming into some nice shorts there as well. Pound CAD is another pair that I'm looking at as well. This one might not happen, but if we can pull back up, that would be great. Come test that area and then dump to the downside. And also gold as well, I'm looking for some long opportunities. But for this one, I feel like because that price action is quite bearish, we might have another dump to the downside back into this area here, and then continue to the highs After that, just retest this prior resistance now as support. So I'm looking for buys for gold. I'm not really interested in selling it. If price action does change and we start falling to lower lows and lower highs, I'll probably change my bias and look to short the pair. But as of right now, my bias is still firmly to the upside. I still think we can get to that area up there. So yeah, looking for longs for gold. But like I said, the market is still a little bit bearish for me. You can still see in the 4H bearish, hourly still looking quite bearish. So there's nothing for me to get involved in just yet. But when I do get an opportunity, I will let you guys know, because I think it could be a really nice swing back into that 1860 area. Then from 1860 we might be seeing some nice selling opportunities back down again. So a lot can be happening for gold over the next few days, and I think some nice opportunities, but nothing quite just yet. So yeah guys, if you're looking at any different pairs or you currently in any trades and you want to share, feel free to do so. Drop it in the chat, we'll take a look at it together, see what's happening. And yeah, if you've got any pairs that you're not too sure about or you want to look at together, feel free, drop it in the chat and we'll take a look and see what's going on. Yeah, that is very true. To be fair, that is very true. We do do have very similar biases when it comes to a lot of the pairs, but yeah, I mean, I just have because to be fair, I was quite bearish on gold even as we are pushing to the upside. It's only when price start to consolidate and mess around here that I thought we could be turning, well, we still could be turning bullish. But yeah, I think because price for gold, I just feel like we can still push the upside for this one and still kind of fill this range to the upside, because we do have like a lot of supply up here, which I think that's where price is headed to. But yeah, I did say if price was to start pushing to the downside for gold, creating lower lows and lower highs, then yeah, I will be happy to change my bias back to bullish and then take it back into these lows down there. But if price starts to form like a solid base, fails to break through it, give me some more higher lows, then yeah, I'll be looking for that, for looking for those buys. And if you do kind of hold this area as well, we'll be looking for buys as well. I'm not sure if I look to swing the pair all the way up here, you know, probably just look to target some key areas like that resistance there, or maybe that resistance up there. So I won't be targeting those highs, but I feel like that's where gold can go if it wants to complete the range. But you know, I'll be more than happy to change my bias if it was to turn bearish, and that is kind of one of my strengths, really, to change my bias quite quickly when things are not looking like it was for how I expect it to be, basically. So yeah, I have that bullish bias now, even though it's looking quite bearish, and potentially after that massive dump, even that massive dump that we had not too long ago, this here could just be retraced from that dump, and then we could see the continuation. And if we are seeing that, we should be seeing some real impulsive bearish movements to the downside for gold. And if that's the case, you know, I'll look to get involved in the retrace and take that to the downside again. But yeah, I want to see if the longs are there first for gold, and if not, yeah, I'll change my bias to bearish. And I think if it is bearish, then probably head back down to these lows, and maybe even go past them as well. But yeah, but we will see. We will see. NZJPY. Okay, so NZJPY, head and shoulders. Okay, yeah, I do see that. We've got the shoulder here, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So yeah, that does look quite clear, and it does look like we are breaking through that neckline there as well. So yeah, I think we're going to see some upside now for NZJPY. Like I did say, we did see a lot of weakness for the JPY kind of at the same time. A lot of the JPY pairs start to push up. I know, you know, it's JPY, so you expect them to, but normally they do it in, normally pairs move sometimes out of sync, because the strength of other currencies play quite a big part, like the New Zealand dollar, pound, euro, CHF, whatever they play. They have different strengths at the time, so they didn't always correlate very well. But what we see now is that a lot of these JPY pairs are starting to correlate really well. Like on this move to the downside, a lot of JPY pairs had that big move to the downside, and now we're seeing that move again to the upside. So yeah, I can see some strength coming in, well, actually some weakness coming in for the JPY, and more upside. We do have this for NZJPY, nice support, now turn resistance. So if we can break past that, we can go a lot further. But yeah, that is where I do see price going, and that is a really nice textbook head and shoulders there as well. So if that pattern does play off, which it does look like it's going to, yeah, I do see a movement into this area here, kind of the 76,500 mark. And if you can pass that, maybe go a lot further. But yeah, actually, I do agree with those buys there for NZJPY. If that head and shoulder does play out, it does look quite good. We'll take a look now. Okay, so let's start on the daily for this one. Again, another big dump to the downside there, and we're pushing back into a key level of support and resistance. So as you can see, we've been pushing to the upside for quite some time here on the daily, and then recently we struggled to push through, finding resistance there, and the market went to relieve itself to the downside. So we're coming back up again, nice bullish candles, and we're coming back into a key level of support resistance, but I do think we'll probably see some struggle and the market will turn bearish again. Again, similar to the other indices that we've analyzed here, I don't expect this one to be, a massive another drop to the downside again past those lows. Obviously that could happen, but with my experience with the indices, it's always better to be a bit cautious when selling and be a little bit more aggressive when buying. For this one, because price does normally find a way to turn bullish again. As you can see, massive dumps to the downside, but we still push up. So for this one, we're coming to a very key level of support resistance, and I'm expecting to see some type of reaction at this mark. Again, we've had a very strong 4-hour candle closure there, a lot of bullish momentum to the upside coming into this level, which is nothing to be scared about too much. But if we do start to see that momentum pick up again and see the next 4-hour candle start to close very bullish above these areas, then it might mean that we might be pushing to the upside again. At that point, you want to be looking for buys to take that back into areas of resistance like so, or maybe this wick here just below. But right now, I think just monitor price action in this area here. See what the market wants to do, if it's turning bullish or bearish. Look for wick rejections, look to see if the market's rejecting any double tops, triple tops, consolidation. Look to see if the market can slow down, because this is a lot of momentum to the upside here, and we need to see that momentum slow down first, turn bearish, and then we can see some nice selling opportunities. And if we do see that the selling opportunity do come around, then this is the area where I do expect price to come to for this pair back into that area there. And if we can break past that, we can start aiming at some of these lows, and maybe so on, all the way back down to those lows there. But again, like I said, don't be too aggressive with these shorts, and let's take your partials, and if you do get your stop loss to break even. But yeah, from this area here, some nice shorts can be coming around. But if we don't, and that momentum keeps up, because that is a very big bullish candle, we could well break through. And if we do see a daily close back above this zone, then I'll probably wait for tomorrow for some pullbacks. If we do see a nice daily close, wait for tomorrow for the pullbacks, and then from this area here, 7,000, can look to take that back up again to the upside. And like I said, target these levels of resistance and those wicks there. So could either be some really nice buying opportunities or nice selling opportunities. But yeah, just wait to see what the market wants to do in this area. And if you're looking for buys, in my opinion, I'd wait for a daily close back above this zone to confirm that we had a false break of that zone, and then we can look for some buys. But as of right now, this is resistance, and I do expect to see some depletion and some momentum to the downside. So at this moment in time, look at the 4H, not looking quite bearish. Hourly, you are still very bearish here, so wait to see if you can get a bit more wicks in there, a bit more price action, and then some shorts to the downside. So yeah, I hope that analysis helped. Yeah, that's good, William. If it's black and white, it should be easy to follow, because you know exactly what to do and exactly what not to do. Which a lot of people who are struggling in the financial markets, trading, investing or whatever, it's normally because they don't know what to do. Not because they can't do it, or it's necessarily too hard, or it is hard, but not necessarily because of that. It's just because they don't have the information of what to do and the experience to know how to get out of tough situations as well. So if it's black and white, that is always 100% a good thing. Yeah, and no problem there, Chia, at all. Okay, so now we've seen Euro Pound do this massive move to the upside here recently, breaking out of this trend line here as well. You can see that I think we can see some more upside for this pair. I said in my weekly analysis that if we do see a breakout of this trend line, there's a good chance, especially with momentum like we're seeing now, there's a good chance price will probably just work its way back up to these highs up there, around the 0.87 mark. for Euro GBP, especially for this pair as well. Normally when it does break out, it does like trending for quite a while. I'll be looking for buying opportunities. It's not quite there yet for me to look for buying opportunities. Still a little bit too bullish. Want to see a bit more retracement, some healthy retracement first, and then can get involved. But yeah, if I was to get involved, it will be only for buys for Euro GBP. You can see we've broken out of that trend line now. I think we're coming into this resistance, though. That's probably why we're starting to stall a little bit. But yeah, I think a bit of healthy retracement is needed, and then some upside for this pair. You can already see on the 4 hour forming some wicks to the downside, so we're already struggling here. But I can still see price, pushing to the downside maybe a little bit more, maybe back down to this support here. Tap into that area. Nice to see some false breaks of it as well, and then getting some longs back up to 0.87. So I think I'll probably add Euro GBP to my watch list. If you can get some type of opportunity like that, that would be great. And then look for some buys, because after that break now, I firmly do see more upside for this pair. But like I said, still a little bit too bullish for me. I want to see a bit more retracement for this pair. And if you can get a nice situation like that on the lower time frames, like the hourly, I think the risk reward will be good as well. So yeah, like I said, USD CAD still looks good for some shorts for this one. I said it would be nice to get a bit of retracement back up to this area here, then take it back down again. I think as long as USD CAD doesn't break through this resistance here, because this is where the market's come back up again, found that supply, nice spikes to the upside, and then had that nice drop to the downside. So a really nice area of resistance. So if USD CAD can come back up, retest that, show a bit more rejection there, then we can look for some sells, double top, take that down again. Or to be fair, because we are still looking quite bearish after that drop, we could still break through. The break and retest might be on, but then that might not be as good of a risk to reward there, so might not be that worthwhile. But USD CAD, I still see some more downside for this one, especially with the price action we're getting on here. And as long as we stay underneath this level here, I think some shorts do look good for this pair. And targets will be this daily area down there around the around the 1.26 300 area, and then potentially even 1.26 if we can spike down to that area. But yeah, more shorts to the downside for USD CAD. And again, DXY needs to kind of kick through as well to help USD CAD move out. We do have that resistance there, which is now turned support. So I think if we can break through that area, then the downside for USD CAD, USD CHF, a lot of the USD pairs will be helped, and we could see this pair really kick off. Well, those pairs really kick off. But yeah, DXY needs to see a little bit more downside for this pair, because right now we've had a break of this level and it looks like we're retesting that. So if that is the case, DXY could be pushing up again to the upside, which might not be so good for other pairs. But if DXY can drop back below this level, I think we'll probably see a lot more downside. Pound CHF, we'll take a look now. Hourly time frame, okay, yeah, I see it as well. Left shoulder, head, then right shoulder. So it does look like we've got quite a clear neckline as well. So yeah, if we can break through that, I do think pound CHF can see a nice push to the upside there as well, and we could see some upside maybe into this kind of area here. Let me measure out 100 pips. So 100 pips is probably about to this area here. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, we can see that price is definitely in need for some retracement. Personally, I'm looking to sell pound CHF, but after a little bit of retracement first, come and test some nice zones up there and then take it back down again. But this pair, it does look like it's run out of steam and will look to see some upside. So I think if we can break through that resistance there, which is the neckline, I think those buys do look good back into that resistance and then maybe even further. So yeah, pound CHF, I do agree with you, at least to this level anyway, because as you can see, the price action here is quite empty. Nice bearish candles there, hardly any wick, so there's a good chance price will, if it can break through the neckline, we'll just fill that gap back to this level. If it does break through there, then yeah, that is probably the next logical place you do expect the price to get to. And then from there we might start to sell off. But yeah, I do agree, pound CHF. Pound CHF, if it can clear that neckline, stay above it, because right now it did clear the neckline. The neckline on that previous candle. This candle is currently trading underneath it. We've still got about 13 minutes to go or something like that before it closes, so it could pull back up. And if it does do that, if it does do something like that, then we could be on for some buys quite quickly. But yeah, I do think that resistance needs to be cleared first to be a little bit more, to have that little bit extra confirmation. But yeah, I do agree with you, Chia. Nice head and shoulders pattern there, but that neckline I think needs to break for this trade to really kick off. Yeah, have a good one, William. Thanks again for joining the live stream, mate. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Yeah, happy to speak to you, and if you want to drop by again tomorrow, feel free to do so. Like always, you know the time, Thursday. Yeah, CHF might be seeing some strength, to be fair. Like I said, used to CHF early on is having a tough time because of that strength in the CHF. So if that CHF strength can die down, then pound CHF could see that move. But right now it's just not there yet, especially with price just below that neckline. But yeah, if I was you, I'd probably wait for a break of that neckline or a little bit more development, maybe price coming respecting this trend line or sort of thing like that. Yeah, I'll probably wait for a little bit more. Yeah, US30 when it does make a move, it's normally is quite volatile. To be fair, which is a good thing, to be fair, and a bad thing, depending if you use a stop loss and depending if you can get the right side of the market. But yeah, most indices can give you quite a good move, quick move as well, nice volatility, hit your TP quite quickly. But yeah, if it's not managed correctly, it can be quite nasty as well. Yeah, I do agree there, Chia. But yeah, like I said, that neckline is giving me some funny looks. So I'm not too sure. If it can break past that, then yeah, I think the path into this resistance here is looking quite clear, and then so on up into that resistance there as well. But yeah, need to see that break, because right now it looks like it's closed above, potentially going to close back below, which give me the false break vibes, which means that we might see some downside first before we can see some upside. And like I said, we might come retest that trend line, reject it again, and then have another attempt at breaking through the neckline, which will be good. So something like this, coming down, rejecting that trend line, breaking, and then go on and so forth. So that could be another good opportunity there as well. yeah, so for Euro USD, I think this is probably the main pair that I'm focusing on currently for some buys. It might not happen, it might sell off again. If that's the case, if it does sell off again, I will stay out of Euro USD because the market is still bearish. So if it is to sell off, it can go a lot further, and I definitely don't want to be buying into that. But if you can get a break of this trend line, I think there will be some nice buys for Euro USD back into this area here, 1.18200, and maybe even further. So I'll be looking to see if you can get a nice closure above the trend line. This current 4H candle, we've still got another 2 hours left. So if you, in 2 hours time, you can pull back up, because right now it is looking quite bearish. So if you can pull back up and then close bearish, that'll be not pull back up, close bearish, sorry, pull back up and close bullish. That would be great above that trend line. Give us a nice confirmed break, and then in the lower time frames, like the hourly, could scale down, wait for a bit of a retest, pull back. Wait for the confirmations, and I think a nice buy to the upside back into those highs there does look good. So you can see there we're getting all this rejection here for Euro USD, which is a sign that the market is failing to break through. Not that it won't break through, that is failing to break through, because the market is still bearish. And I've seen many times where we get these wick rejections here in a bearish market, then we just see one candle just break through and continue to the downside, and vice versa with a bullish market. Nice strong resistance, and then we just break through after so much rejection. So definitely it's better to stay patient, better to be on the sidelines and wait for a better opportunity than get in and be too early. So yeah, waiting for that break to happen first to give me extra confidence, more confirmation, more confidences, and then when that can happen, then I think I'll drop to the low time frames like that hourly. See if you can get, like I said, it'll be a nice head and shoulder potentially, breaking past the trend line, give me another higher low. So left shoulder, head, right shoulder, or something like that, or maybe a double bottom, and then take this to the upside. So something like that is what I'll be looking for. If I get an opportunity, I will let you guys know. So yeah, that's mainly what I'm focusing on. Pound USD, I was focusing on a lot yesterday, but after we saw that bearish candle there in the 4H take us to the downside, I just left this pair alone, because I knew we could be falling to the downside a lot further, and this was the area where I was expecting price to go if we did see that break. As you can see, we did see that daily break, and we have tapped into that area. So pound USD, I think we can see some upside eventually, but it's still too bearish right now. Looking at this from an hourly point of view, again, still looking too bearish. You can see we come up to that area, rejected it, come back to that area again. Looks like rejecting that as well. We've got about another 6 minutes before that candle closes. So yeah, there's nothing really there for me for pound USD. Euro USD, again, nothing there, but something could be there soon, so we'll be looking out for that. And as well, like I said earlier, DXY as well. If I can get a break below here from the DXY, then that Euro USD will probably start to come through, and then we have a nice confluence there, because DXY Euro USD inversely correlated. As DXY goes down, Euro goes up, vice versa. So if that could happen, that'd be great. As you can see, if we jump to the hourly time frame, we are rejecting that support there, which could actually give the market another kick to the upside past these wicks and go a lot further. So if that does happen, then I think the longs for Euro USD are off, and price will probably take another dive to the downside. AUD USD for this one, again, still quite bearish here. It is losing momentum, so we might be seeing a pullback soon come, but overall still quite bearish. And like I said early on in the stream, we're kind of trading between two key levels of resistance and support: 0.74 key level of resistance and 0.72500 key level of support. So if you can come back to one of these areas, I think I'll be interested in even sells or buys. That is very poorly drawn. Either sell from here or buys from here, something like that. I don't really want to get involved when the market is right between these two areas here, because kind of a 50-50 what price wants to do, and I want to be have the odds really on my side before I take a trade. So we'll wait for AUDUSD to do what it wants to do. It might not even be an opportunity this week for me. It might be next week, but I'll keep an eye out for that. I'm still looking quite bearish. But it is about 5 minutes, guys, before I look to end the stream. So if there's any pairs they want me to quickly look at, any trades that you're in, want me to quickly have a look at as well, or you've got a pair on your watch list for potential opportunity you want to share, feel free to do so as well. We'll take a look at it together, see what's happening. But yeah, we'll be looking to end the live stream shortly, guys. But yeah, like I said, Euro USD is kind of the main pair I'm looking at. Gold, I'm looking for longs, but still too bearish for me, so might not even happen this week. It might be next week where we get involved, but I'll look out for something. Maybe they might even turn bearish. We could be looking for some sells, but nothing there for gold. So yeah, Euro USD is what I'm looking for. Still too bearish here, but we'll see if we can get anything. Yeah, sure thing. We'll take a look at US30. So yeah, like I said, for US30, massive dump to the downside we've seen recently for this pair, and now we've pushed all the way back up again. We haven't retraced the whole thing, but we've retraced quite a lot of it, and we've closed above this area here, which we did break through. Essentially, this was a false break. As you can see, support, false break there. We sprung to the upside. Now we're testing the price support that we had here now as resistance. So yeah, I said for this one there could be some nice selling opportunities for US30, but it's not quite there yet. Still looking a little bit bullish overall. You can see that massive momentum there for the bulls. We are falling to the downside, but it looks like it's just gonna be retracement there. There's not a lot of momentum in those candles, so you might be seeing another push to the upside, which is still fine because it's quite a big zone that I've drawn there, but this is essentially a daily zone, so a lot can happen in there before we turn bearish. But like I said, with a lot of the indices, we've seen a lot of momentum in the prior 4H candle closes, so there is a lot of momentum to the upside. So I think it's probably best to wait on the sidelines a little bit, but if we can see some more wick rejections as the day continues into this area on the 50-minute or something like that, I think we can see some nice selling opportunities back down into this area here as the first TP, and if you can break through that into this area down there. So I'll be looking for sells, but like I said, be a bit cautious because we do have all that momentum there, which is pushing to the upside, and this bearish price action here could just be retracement for price to take another push back up again. So need to be a bit more patient with this one, but if you do see some nice wicks into there on the 15, 30 or hourly, then yeah, that'll be good for some shorts back down to this area, kind of break and retest of that resistance, and a break of that, we could see a nice move back into this area over there. So I'll be looking for sells for this one if I actually was trading that pair, because I don't trade the indices, but if I was, I would be looking for sells back into this area, then a break of that back into that area down there. But yeah, sells for US30, I think. And then yeah, maybe you can move a lot further as well. But yeah, sells. Might see some, might see one more push to the upside potentially. But yeah, I think sells for this pair. But yeah, anyway, guys, it has come to the end of the live stream. I hope all of you have found it useful, enjoyed it. Like always, we'll do a quick rundown of some of the pairs that we've looked at previously, any pairs that I'm looking at on my watch list that I think that could potentially be of a nice opportunity later on. We'll do a quick breakdown of those pairs as well. But yeah, it is coming to the end of the live stream, so we'll do a quick rundown. Like I said, for Euro USD, this is kind of like at the top of the list. It might not happen though, yeah, we could easily just see another dump to the downside. But like I said, if we do see a nice bearish candle closure back above that trend line, I think the buys are back into this area, and I think the risk to reward is really good as well if you can get a nice entry on the hourly or the 15-minute or something like that to the upside. So yeah, waiting for the break of that trend line, and then buys do look good for Euro USD, but be careful, the market is still bearish, and if you do see a break of that support, the market can go a lot further. USD CAD, another pair that does look good for sells, but like I said, right now it might not happen. We might just dump to the downside without it. So yeah, I want to see a bit more retracement to the upside, see if we can reject that and then come back down again, and looking for a move back down to 1.26300. Pound USD, again looking for buys, but again still too bearish, so I probably will be in the sidelines again for this one. It'll be a nice opportunity if you can come down, reject this area here, double bottom, then take it back up again, but yeah, still too bearish for me right there. Pound CHF, there could be some nice temporary buys for this one, but again still looking too bearish. If I go in the hourly, you can still see a nice bearish closure there, because we had that false break of that of the neckline, so a lot of people would have longed that breakout, and now they've been trapped on the wrong side of the market there a little bit. But like I said, if it can hang on to this trend line or hang on to that support, creep back above this neckline here, start holding that as support, I can see some really nice buys to the upside for this pair. But as of right now, it's looking quite bearish, so wait for the next hourly candle to close, and if we can retest this area, I think we could be seeing some good buys to the upside there, but a little bit too bearish for us right now. AUD/USD as well for this one, trapped between two key areas, so wait for price to do something first, either come up to this area, then we can sell it back down again, or drop to this area and then potentially buy it back up again. So waiting for one of those two things to happen. Like I said, not too keen on trading price when it's in between those two key areas. Want it to be in a key area so I can have that, have a bit of advantage on me, a bit of an edge. But right now, nothing there for AUD/USD, so we'll let you guys know if anything comes around these two areas. And Euro GBP, like I said, potential buys for this one. It looks like we are starting to push to the upside as well. I said it would be nice to see a push back into this area, then take it back up, but it might actually be that price is really starting to push up there. I don't think I will look to buy that anyway, coming into that resistance, not looking good. Maybe in the lower time frames there might be an opportunity, but for now we don't really see one. But yeah, for Euro GBP, it would be nice to turn bearish again, come back into this support, and then buy it back up again. But it might not happen, it might just push on. But I'll let you guys know if there is an opportunity on the Telegram. So like always, if you haven't checked that out, make sure you go do that. It's on my description down below. But yeah guys, that is the end of the live stream, guys. I hope you all enjoyed that and found that useful. If you are enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel. It does mean a lot, it helps the channel out a lot as well. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed the video as well, helps the channel out too. But yeah guys, I hope you all have a great day, great trading day as well. Thanks a lot, Major. I hope you have a great trading day as well. But yeah, I hope you have a good one, guys. And I do have a live stream tomorrow, Thursday, same time, 10 AM to 12 PM GMT. So hope you guys don't miss that out. Pop by, say hello, chat about some Forex pairs or indices, or whatever pair you're looking at. But I hope you have a good one, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.